Period.
Yeah. So, welcome, Raven Paris. Welcome to Mavens and Millionaire. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me come on board. I'm excited to be on your platform.
I'm excited to have you here. So, this is going to be just a great conversation. Even though you and I we've talked, but we haven't fully talked. So, but this is still
Mhm.
like a good opportunity to, explore and learn.
Yeah.
And as I was doing my research, I saw all your reels on YouTube, and let me start by first saying that I think you first came on my radar, and I don't think I was doing content creation at this time at all, but from the Oprah clip. So
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know
when
if
I
that
was
was
I
viral
was
for
working.
you, huh?
That's when I was working with TMZ and I was in New York.
Okay.
So that was what, 2018 or 2000, yeah, 2018 because I met my husband 2019, or it could have been 2019 because I actually ended up leaving TMZ in the beginning of 2019. So it's either 2018 or 2019 when I did that Oprah clip. I can't remember. So it's been a
Now
while.
we're talking. Yeah, it's been a minute. I mean, so we're talking as two Baltimoreans. So wait, are you from here?
Yes, born and
Okay.
raised from Baltimore. I just believe in sometimes having to go out when you want to, get something done. And I had to go out to New York for a little bit.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
But so you met one of I mean, people, Chicago gets to claim Oprah, and I guess everybody gets to claim Oprah, but we still want to claim Oprah.
And she
So
came to Baltimore for a couple years too. In
yeah,
her early career, she was here. So, and I honestly think that's she only stopped because I actually saw I ended up seeing Oprah like three times
mm,
out there. The first day I actually trained for TMZ, I ended up seeing her twice, but I wasn't interviewing, then I was shadowing. So the person that I was shadowing, was just, a white man, and it's TMZ, you see it on the camera, biggest day, and she didn't want to stop and talk to them. So this months later now at this point, where though I feel like she saw some of her within me. So as she's running to their hotel, she literally stopped like, oh damn, like that girl was once me. Let me stop and see what she got to say. So we can still claim her a little bit.
yeah. I mean, I'm forever claiming her. I always talk about like in terms of like the media, like that's the pinnacle, that's the height, because even as a child I grew up, of course, watching her show, but for me it was so important even to see Harpo Studios. Like, what is
Yeah.
that? I don't even know what a studio is at this time, but I know that she's a part of it. I know that she owns it because it has her name on there in reverse.
Yes. Yes. Right. Isn't that so slick? Uh-huh.
Right.
Um,
So, talk about branding, first of all.
It's A1. And beyond that, she's been very intentional. I was able to read this book. Oh my God. It's called The Seat of the Soul.
Mm-hmm.
And in that story, she basically, but first I feel like I listened to a documentary and then I end up hearing about the seat of the soul and right, the seat of the soul. But basically in that documentary, she was just basically talking about like how intentional she was with like every step and transition of her going through like that Oprah series. Whereas though at first she originally had, the producers, finding guests or creating these things for her. But then as she started like evolving and then like own network and things came about, she started being more intentional and playing such a bigger role and part within the conversations and the topics and the things that she wanted to talk about to kind of go in the direction that she saw. So beyond just like the brand, and she's been very intentional with building her brand, who she's talking to specifically. You get what I'm saying? Like she knew that the aunties was in the house watching her show. So that's who she needed to be talking to during that Oprah show, during that specific time. Like she just very like she's a visionary. And I feel like that's what's very important, what's needed when you do want to achieve something at the level of an Oprah. You gotta have that vision and be very intentional.
So let's talk about vision for a minute.
Hmm.
Because often when you have vision, it puts you're looking at something else that no one else can see.
Yep,
But
but you.
but you
Hmm.
want to share it because you're so excited about it. And everyone else is just like, what? No. They're mostly they're like, no. So how do
Yeah.
you handle I guess it's not even necessarily criticism, but it's just like doubt when everything around you is saying like, no, that won't work.
Mm-mm. How I work, I feel like I've been building my brain and taking my steps off of like faith and what I saw for myself. And then, because like you said, like the vision is only for you. So a lot of times you got to paint the picture, right? And then as you are doing things, aka painting the picture, you're then painting the picture for other people to be able to see. So I feel like even starting out, I went to school, Morgan State University, as a social worker. I always knew I wanted to do radio. I wanted to do television. I wanted to go to school for communications, but my parents like, "What are you gonna do when you graduate?" Da 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 da. You get what I'm saying? So I settled. I did social work, but I feel like social work helped me. It allowed me to get to know myself. It allowed me to get to know people, to be able to meet them halfway for when I go and interview them, etc. Right? So it was a part of the journey, but that's not what I wanted to do. So long story short, as I was moving along in my process, whereas though when I graduated, I started my internet radio show, Love the Culture Radio, my senior year of college. I also had an internship. I was a family advocate, so I was helping parents get their biological kids back. They offered me a full-time job, and I declined it. I declined it to work at Sprint, to pursue a this big dream I had for having this internet radio show that I have to pay for every month. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And my parents thought I was crazy. What college student graduates with this full-time job and declines it to pursue this dream? So I feel like it's always going to be those naysayers, or more so people who I would say they project their fears onto you. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times it's not because it's just fear. It's fear and it's survival. But at the end of the day, when you dream big and know that God has placed a bigger vision in your heart and in your mind, you have to kind of block that out and just do it anyway. So literally, I feel like I had to be that example to show that, okay, this is what I want to do. I'm going to do it, and I made it work. So then I Love the Culture Radio ended up turning into, I then got to DTLR radio. Then DTLR radio then turned into, I'm going to quit Sprint, because now my internet radio show is producing enough income where I could pay myself every 2 weeks. You get what I'm saying? By advertising and marketing different artists. And by the end of this year, I'm going to be at 92Q. And by the end of this year, I was where? At 92Q. Then from there, I ended up going to New York. I made it into the Ween Academy. So out of like, how many girls? Out of like 500 plus girls, they chose, how many people was in my
Wait,
class? 19 of
what's the
us.
Weem Academy? Can
Oh,
you?
what's the Ween Academy?
Yeah.
It's Women in Entertainment Empowerment Network. And it was a organization that was founded by Felicia Butterfield, Sabrina Thompson, Lauren Lakes, and Christy. And long story short, they were a group of amazing women who also went to school, had to intern. They made it into the entertainment industry, and now they developed this organization to be able to connect other women who are also in the industry. So whether you are a journalist or you're into event coordinating or you're a publicist or whatever, you audition to be a part of Ween. And out of like these 500 girls, they chose 19 of us. So I ended up being selected. And after my Ween experience, you have to go in Ween for a month. It's like a boot camp, but you get to experience and meet so many different people, go to so many different networks. That's when I end up being able to go to the Breakfast Club, and I got to shadow on Angela Yee during that moment. So like I had those experiences. I'm like, oh, I'm moving to New York. You get what I'm saying? So literally within a month, I end up doing my interview process for TMZ and moving there. So I feel like I always just had vision. I always believed in myself. I always kept my faith strong as well. And I did not allow what other people saw for me dictate how I moved. Because at the end of the day, what you think and what you feel, they don't have nothing to do with me. What me and God got going on in our partnership. And I feel like that's how I've been able to move. And I also believe in more so like that intention part. Whereas though I knew that I wanted to be a mother, I knew that I wanted to have a husband, I knew all these things, and I honestly feel like I had been able to manifest my life. But I also put in the work. I don't believe in just say what you want and it's gonna no. Faith without work is dead. You have to put in work. So I feel like since I know that I put in the work, if it's aligned with what God had for me, it's going to happen. And that's how I've been able to do it. My actions have been able to show others that oh, Raven gonna do what she needs to do regardless. So now I don't even have the doubters or the naysayers because they've been able to see what I've been able to build, what I've been able to do since 2015. And I'm only still getting started. Okay.
You are definitely just still getting started. You said so many things. There's so many different things I want to touch
I
on,
know,
child.
I'm sorry.
No, no, you good. Because for one,
But
I'm
from the
learning so
beginning,
much.
as you can see, they've been doubting from the beginning. You get what I'm saying? I just had to keep painting, 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 and painting.
Yes. And you have been in it for so long. And then, like I said, as I was looking at your reel, I saw so many different iterations of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as I'm finding, I'm reiterating, I'm rebranding. But even
Hmm.
within that, I was like, okay, well, people only know me as this one thing. Even I had a
Hmm.
thing before media. I was a birth worker. So it was like, well,
Okay.
people only know
Okay.
me for this one thing.
Yeah.
So how do you, I guess, there's criticism from other people, and then there's a criticism of yourself of like,
Yeah.
well, do I need to stick with this one thing? Like, can you
Yeah.
talk to me about any times when you've had like the internal struggle of like, this just isn't working how I plan to see it, or I don't have a plan? So how, what
Yeah.
is there anything that you took that you could just figure out, okay, well, to still move forward? Because sometimes it gets a little, it gets a little hard.
Yeah. Um, I would say that sometimes things happen in life that kind of forces you to make a decision that will then dictate what it is you have to do next, right? So, um, I haven't done radio since 2020, right? But I lived, ate, and breathed doing media stuff. You get what I'm saying? Get up on that bus, go right to New York to do a red carpet, or go to DC to do this festival, or like I lived, ate, and breathed this. But once the I got exposed to new things and different things, I started to be more fulfilled doing other things. But of course, the world knows me as Raven Paris, who works for 92Q or does this or does that. But at the end of the day, it's like you have to go with what you feel. And like I said, sometimes things happen. So with me, COVID happened, right? Whereas though everything shut down, whereas though you had to then get certain shots in order to work or in order to do this. So since I decided I didn't want to get the shot, that then closed certain chapters for me because certain things was needed in order to be in certain studios, right? But in the midst of that, I was already exploring and doing other things. Like I've been consulting, but I was consulting for artists. You get what I'm saying? Helping them with marketing rollouts, helping them plan their events. Because I also was planning, I was doing my seminars, I was doing my retreats, I was doing all those then. So I was helping a lot of artists. But whereas though I ended up finding out that okay, so now I am becoming an entrepreneur because I've been able to learn how to make money off of my skill sets and things that I'm doing. So I actually like helping other people be able to do the same thing. You get what I'm saying? So that love for artists then kind of transitioned to entrepreneurs, but I was still trying to hold on to what I was known for, what I was doing. But COVID kind of like cut that off. So now it's just like, what are you going to do? So now I just had this virtual reality world now, whereas that's when I, hey, let me explore. Let me start doing some social media workshops. Let me start doing some entrepreneur things to really focus on them and then see what happens out of that. And it started working out. So I just feel like in those moments where you don't know, sometimes God will just close doors for you and then you'll be forced to kind of like tap into other things and try it out and see if it works. And I feel like that's kind of been what happened with me. And I would just say continue to like trust your gut. Don't worry about what other people perceive you as. It's not about the other people because, like I said, you're going to continue to write out your own chapter, right? And then they're going to read it and they're going to hop online. And if they don't, it is what it is. But you need to be fulfilled, whatever it is that you want to do, and just explore everything. Like you say, we're not put here just to be one way. Like we do have a purpose and we have a mission. So I do know that like I've been put here to be a bridge, right? Whereas I'm able to connect people to resources. I'm put here to inspire. Whereas though I'm able to show you the possibilities of what you're able to do if you really tap in with God and really go through and just see things through, right? So I know I'm put here to inspire, to motivate, and to be a bridge to to people. I'm here to use my voice, whether that is through radio, whether that's through television, whether that is through my events, whether that's through my social media platforms, whether that's through my consultations. I know my voice is put here to impact and help other people. So I feel like as long as you tap into like that purpose and that mission that you have that's over your life, it's so many things that you could do to be able to execute that. And I say that's what you focus on. Like, what am I supposed to be here to do? What is it? And then to kind of help you with that too, is like, what do people tell you that you are most good at? Or you're like, oh, I saw you do that, and that really inspired me, or that really helped me, or that really was a good resource. Like, what is it that people tell you that you're really good at? And what you hear most of that is like, oh damn, okay, so that is why I'm meant to be here. That's what people, you know what I'm saying, like that I'm supposed to do. Because it's not just about us. It's about what are you doing for other people to really help them advance. You get what I'm saying? Of course,
Right.
we're supposed to be selfish, but we're put here on a mission to do something. And whatever it is that people say you're good at, or how it makes them feel or impact them in that type of way, that's what kind of helps you then figure out your mission and your purpose. Because a lot of times that's hard to figure out too. You get what I'm saying? But like, just keep remembering those things, because God will send people too that will tell you certain things and you're like, oh damn, I did hear that before. You get what I'm saying? And then once you kind of get that part down pat, then explore everything else that's aligned and makes sense within that mission and purpose. And don't allow the naysayers to get in there, because you won't know if it's working for you until you try it. Everything ain't gonna work, but you at least gotta try it out.
Right. You know, there's a saying, I guess, like, well, what people are saying now is that they wish they had I guess, like the audacity of like a basic white man. And what
What
I'm
that is? I
finding,
never heard that one.
I think I'm actually butchering it, but it's just like how like they just assume that they can have whatever they want, and
Yeah,
just the audacity of it all. They also say the
yeah,
same thing about men. If it's one thing they
yeah,
got, it's audacity. And I think with black entrepreneurs, and then more specifically with black women entrepreneurs, there is more of a conversation of that we need to change our mindset to not be so self-critical, and to understand that the world is also our oyster. And if we shift our mindset, I mean, even everything that you're saying now is that if you just simply shift your mindset, then you can begin to like move forward and
yeah.
walk into your calling.
Yes, yes. And be okay with exploring and learning what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to have a season of exploring who it is that you are, because we change so much. Like who I was in 2015 is not the same Raven Paris that I am now in 2024 as a wife and a mother and an entrepreneur, and all these other titles and things that I do. So it's like, be okay with those seasons of loneliness, those seasons of exploring, those seasons of being confused. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Maybe you don't know where your next dollar is going to come from, but you got to keep that faith, and you got to still believe in something in order to keep going. Like you can't stop, and that's the part.
I want to shift just a little bit and talk about. So you said that
Yeah,
you've changed. I know that you've become a mom within the last few years.
yeah,
Talk to me about the motherhood experience, and I want to start from birth,
yeah.
from the beginning of being a mother baby duo. How was your birth experience?
So my birth experience was a unique one. I was all natural when I went into labor with Isabella. I did 19 hours of just, getting her into this world. And I feel like it was definitely a beautiful experience. It was something that I wanted to do for myself to prove that, our bodies are capable and able to do it. Um, and I feel like I had a great doula. Shout out to Sierra Leone. I had a good support system in birth and family and birth and plan. And I feel like I really prepared for that experience so it could be seamless and so I can really enjoy it. And so it can be, I could be relaxed, because I know that that's really a huge part of it. The more relaxed and comfortable you are, the better and more at ease your delivery will be. So it ended up being really good. Club Mercy was amazing. I did not want to leave.
Okay.
It's almost like, wait, we gotta go already. Don't try to put me out. But like,
What?
it ended up being really good because after what your third day, they send you
Oh,
home.
see, no,
Your
I'm
experience
one
is
of those people.
good,
I'm ready. I'm like, oh, I had the baby. Okay, time to go. I like
and you ready to go
I'm
instantly.
24 hours
I
is
ain't
the
know what to
minimum.
do.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
to me, that's the maximum to me.
What?
Yeah, I'm like, no, you've already kept me far too long.
Oh, heck, I was trying to stay, okay? But I had to go home. Thank God, we were all healthy, so we got to go
Yeah.
home. But it's like you send me home with this new baby that I gotta, be with and take care of. But it was a good experience. I made it through the full 19 hours. I didn't curse anybody out. I didn't cry. I wasn't mean. Honey, was I mean? I wasn't mean. Like I did my thing. Um Now once it came to the part of like pushing, I feel like that's when it really gets real,
Yeah.
like when you have to get that baby head out of there, and then that's when you feel everything. So now I'm going into like my second pregnancy. I'll be 7 months on Saturday.
Mhm.
But going into like now my second pregnancy with my boy, I'm like, oh, I'm going to have a soft delivery because I deserve this. You get what I'm saying? I know what my body is capable of doing.
Mhm.
I did it before. I just want to have a nice soft
Wait a minute.
delivery.
What? I'm
Um,
sorry. What is a soft delivery? You tell me
you
something.
can shoot me up, okay? Shoot me
Oh,
up so I can just relax and just be okay with not feeling, okay? So that's just where I'm at with it, how I feel. Because this is also my last rendezvous with this delivery thing. So I want to get all the experiences in. But my first one was good. I was able to do it. I vlogged it. I was recording. I was talking. I was educating. After that experience too, we kept my placenta. Tony actually made me some like placenta pills. So I feel like it was a good season to explore, what it's like to bring life.
mhm.
That's what we're put here to do, to produce. So it was good.
I've had some pushback when people say that part, like that's what you're meant to do here.
Yeah,
But that is what our bodies are capable of without making it like
right.
political and everything. And it's like, and if that's how you
Yeah,
feel, at the
yeah,
end of the day, you're talking about your life experience and your body. So it
yeah,
is all about your personal mission and alignment. So I say that all to
yes.
say you absolutely can say that, and I concur as a person, as a
At
mother.
least that's what I think I was put here to do,
Yeah.
Like I can only speak for me.
Yes. No.
Hmm.
Hey, me too. And I have my two. I wish I could have more. I mean, technically I could, but
You
um,
want more?
I always say that I'm holding out. I say I'm between 97 and 99% sure that I'm done. I haven't gotten to 100% yet. So I
Okay.
am 39. I think I'll
Okay.
officially close the door around 45,
Okay. All
46.
right. Yeah, but say you still giving yourself some
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm not with
I
these
always
people
do
who
that.
they want to say like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm getting so old, like I don't want to have any more." And it's like, no, if the body is
No,
capable of
people
doing
are
it,
definitely in their late 40s. Like my mom, when I was in the ninth grade, my mom ended up having my little brother.
mhm,
So Kim was definitely in her 40s when she popped Julius out, and he now just graduated from high school this year. So crazy.
yeah,
So it goes to show that age is nothing but a number. As long as your body,
mhm,
God say yes, who could tell you no? And as long as your body is able to do what it needs to do, you're gonna be fine. So I love that.
yeah. I think the body is capable. It's where the bank
It
account
is.
hits. So that's why it's made into millionaire
Yeah,
because we're trying
that's
to get
true.
to that point. And so
Yeah,
then my options become endless at that point.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so speaking of what, so how do you feel like motherhood has changed how you move as a business owner already?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like even before Isabella, I was able to experience motherhood. So we have a big
Mhm.
daughter. So I feel like Monzi was my first example of like what motherhood looks like, or how you have to really be selfless and you have to incorporate this other being, um, while you're living your life. So I remember even like when I used to do like my interviews, or I was doing my tutorials on my YouTube, where I would get my curl brand deals with like curl, and she would watch me and she would say, "Hi, I'm Raven Paris." So like even seeing how she would my impact on her, that kind of like shaped me to like, oh, like I have a little one who's actually watching me. You get what I'm saying? Who is seeing everything that I'm doing, and that can inspire them in a good or a bad way. So I feel like motherhood from the very beginning, before I even birthed my own, taught me that it's a social responsibility that you have as an entrepreneur, right? Because people are watching your mistakes, they're watching what you are able to accomplish, they are watching what you don't know. You get what I'm saying? Like, and really trying to learn you and school you. So I definitely feel like motherhood has taught me that part. Um, and overall, it's just forced me to go even harder. You get what I'm saying? Because now my family has grown even more. So it's like, what legacy am I going to leave behind? Like, I want to be able to leave some now generational wealth for them. Whereas though, if I'm no longer here, what type of real estate and stuff have we invested in that we can now pass down to them? Or what things I've just been able to do within my community as well, that they've been able to see me do. So beyond being an entrepreneur is that philanthropy work that goes into it as well, and them just watching how I live my life overall, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and all those other ways. So I definitely feel like motherhood has shaped me a lot.
Great. I love to hear that. Yeah. Legacy is probably a big thing for me. It is one of the big things, particularly when I was pregnant with my last one. Like, I decided, I had it in my head, like, I have to purchase a home. Like, now, like, let's get
Yes,
serious about the future. Let's go ahead and
yes,
purchase a home. And ultimately, I wound up
yes,
purchasing my home. I've been here for about 6 years now. And
yes.
I feel like it has, in one way, is gave me a sense of security in the now, but it's also been an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity for me to just like inform my children of an additional opportunity of some type of expectation. My parents weren't homeowners.
Ownership.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it definitely kind of like even changes of what is not aspirational for them. I don't want it to be aspirational. I want it to be normal. I want it to be commonplace for them.
Yes.
So
Yes. Same.
the,
Same here. Same here. Just being able to do the things that our parents did not do for us. And it's not to say, we're not blaming them for it. Maybe they didn't have the tools or the resources, but it's like once you know better, you do better. And that's exactly what we're doing for our kids too, exposing them to everything that we now are capable of doing, such as, we know about credit, what goes into that. We know about life insurance, what that looks like, and making sure they have that as well. But just like the more you learn, the more you pass down to them.
that's absolutely true. So speaking
Yeah.
of wealth and legacy, you
Yeah.
have two guys that I'm extremely fond of, and I'm so sad that I didn't make the last year one. But you have the Wealth Summit coming up. Can you tell us about
Yeah.
that? Tell us who you're bringing in town, who the guests are, and you have some local guests too. So I don't want to forget them as well.
Yeah. So the Well Summit Live was actually so just like some background, my husband actually loved Earn Your Leisure. Love Earn Your Leisure. I wouldn't say that, I listened to them starting out until I became more familiar with them from Tony. So he basically had took it upon himself to start reaching out to them. And within, him conversing with them over the past, 4 or 6 months during that time, he then came to me like, "We're bringing Earn Leisure to Baltimore." I'm like, "Who's bringing Earn Leisure to Baltimore? Like, who's doing that?" Right? So after he had the idea, I was then able to kind of come in with some strategy and some intention to really be able to then birth the Well Summer Lab, to make it even more intentional beyond just showcasing a live podcast. How can we really make this an impact that will last and that will stick? So I would say that's kind of like how the thought or idea for the Wealth Summit Live, how it came about. I graduated from Morgan State University, so I wanted to partner with my old stomping grounds to be able to do it there. They had a nice theater there. And then on top of that, we wanted to be able to incorporate some other type of discussion. So our annual event, we had Earn Your Leisure. They was able to interview Chris and Janine Simon, the founders of Selfish and of BTST and of Black Swan. The list goes on.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So they interviewed them, some powerful, a powerful husband and wife who also believe in collaboration, and they partner with a lot of their friends for their business initiatives. So they interviewed them, and then we also had a different panel to focus on the wealth aspect. So we had someone who focused on stock trading, on credit repairing, on the dispensary business that's happening and evolving
Mm-hmm.
at a fast rate. And then we had Tony, who's a realtor. And then we had someone who focused on entrepreneurship. So that was the panel, but it kind of like gave a little bit bits and pieces of, that wealth aspect based on the feedback that we received from last year. We saw that demand was there. The event happened to be on a Saturday. We had about 350 people come out to learn about financial education within a month of marketing in Baltimore on a Saturday. So I'm like, oh, okay. So if we really take this and plan this even more strategically and bring even more experiences to this experience, we could really, knock this thing out the park. So now we have our second annual Wealth Summit Live, and we have partnered with the Baltimore Peninsula. It's powered by Wells Fargo and Chloe Nicole. And we have now taken the feedback from the first one to be able to incorporate more panels that focus specifically on certain topics. Because, I told you the last one, we kind of had everyone together.
Right.
Whereas though this one, we have 4 different panels: the assets versus liabilities, we have the passion turned into currency, we have the funding secure panel, and then we have the monetize your brand off tech. So they all focus on different things, whether it is home ownership, credit, whether it is, you are that dreamer that want to turn your hobby into your reality and actually start making money from it. Or if you have that nonprofit, or if you have that business, you need an investor. How do we go about funding and securing this bag? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or now we have this digital ecosystem that everyone is using, whether you have an app, whether you're on a social media platform, or whether you use AI. Like, how do I now monetize these to help scale my business? So it's like all these discussions are needed in order for us to build wealth. So we're happy to have put that together. Some of those panels feature, we have Michelle Lopez. She is a amazing motivational speaker, but on top of that, she's like a celebrity stylist, and she has the refer her movement because she believe in, you got to refer her. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you're not able to do
Yeah.
it, refer that girl. And she's been able to reach over 500,000 people. She have over 500,000 followers from her Instagram, her TikTok, her YouTube. She's just so amazing from the DMV area. We then have Isis Brianna. She's another powerhouse. If you are on social media, she is, she's a faith believer. She loves Jesus, but she also utilizes her brand to create these dope marketing strategies. And she's also a good friend of Imani Ellis, the founder of Culture Con. So we have her, we have Rachel V, we have DJ Quicksilver, we have Siege, CJ. But he's Siege Vega on Instagram, on his social media account. He is like big into virtual reality. So he's partnered up with Meta, he's partnered up with Tesla. He like the list goes on. So like we have a bit of like everybody that y'all just gonna have to go to the website to figure out, or maybe whenever this come out, you gotta go watch the recap video. But we have a lot of dope powerhouses that are from here, but also we have like a client of mine. Shout out to Coach E. He's a founder of Black Baseball Media, which is a nonprofit that focuses on basically leveling out the playing fields for Black baseball players. So by him being a nonprofit, he's been able to raise over $200,000 in grant funding. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That is a skill itself that needs to be talked about, that needs to be taught. So he's also a panelist that's a part of the Wealth Summit Live. So we just wanted to kind of like bring Black excellence together, and
You've
so
done
we're really
that. Let me
excited.
just say, you look like you've already, the
Hello,
list is long.
it's gonna be
Yes.
so good. So we have the 4 panels. We have 6 different workshops to really create that more intimate experience where you can really go in and interact with moderators directly in a more intimate setting. So the workshops will only hold about 40 to 50 people. And then we have our live activations. And then on top of that, we have our vendor marketplace, which is powered by Black Ass Flea Market. So the vendor marketplace will be open to the public, whereas if you just want to come down, fellowship, possibly rub elbows with any of our talents or our elite professionals that is there within the Wealth Summer Live, they're going to come out because all the food outside, the bar outside, you know what I'm saying? So it's open to the public just so you can continue to build wealth with our Black businesses that will be in that vendor marketplace. And then we have our headlining event, which is, Earn Your Leisure, interviewing the founder of Culture Con, Imani Ellis. She's a powerhouse in itself. She was able to start Culture Con with maybe about 100 people in her townhouse in Brooklyn. Then that ended up going up to 300, and now she's at 10,000. She does them in New York. She does them in LA. So we are excited. We've incorporated some VIP events. We have our VIP event Friday night, powered by Hugh Cafe and Apothecary and Los Hermanos. Black owned, married couple. The VIP lounge is powered by Sharif, another Black owned restaurant, married power couple. And then we have our VIP brunch, which is powered by Poppy Cuisine. Married, Black owned. So we really just kind of want to showcase that part too, to show what it looks like to build that wealth for your family and to collaborate.
I love that. You've talked a lot about the married, and I know is very much couples goals. But for the single people
Yeah.
like myself, how do you get like where are there going to be single men there? Because I too like.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of single men. We also have a fire VIP
Mm,
panel filled with some Black brothers who are doing amazing for themselves. Okay,
mm,
they look good, they're doing good, and they are building wealth. So that is a VIP panel that is actually powered by distinguished gentlemen, and it's dope when you go in there. Like, let me pull it up so you can get a feel for
yes.
some of the people who will be on this panel, just so you can get a feel for who will be in the building. So you have Ezekwe. He is the founder of Events for Good People. He do a lot of like events around the city. On top of that, he have now created Board, which is like Black Restaurant Week. So he's a part of that panel. Then you have, Ray Rice. He now is a community outreach president for Pipeline for Prosperity. And then you have John Burns. He's the manager partner at the Burns Brothers. So him and his brother, they have a lot of different I would say like they are like co-working space for
Mhm.
entrepreneurs, and he's currently in the process of opening one in Kenya, but they have like three different locations. Then you have Joshua Kane, he's the senior vice president at Truist Bank. Then you have Nick Tatum, he's the senior vice president at Nerd Wallet. And then you have the founder of Distinguished Gentlemen Collective, which is Zeke, and he's Distinguished Gentlemen's partner with him, and also Eddie. Eddie is married to Wendy from the Real Housewives of Potomac, so it's giving like quality Black men, okay? And then
Yes.
in Distinguished Gentlemen, it's an organization for other gentlemen, so they all will be there as well. So the single men will be in the building as well. So we need our women to make sure they are showing up and showing out, and everyone can build this wealth together, and you may leave with your boo thing. Okay.
Let's hope. That's what they talk about, like Afrotech, like this is where you go to find your guy and everything. And as
Uh-huh.
much as I
Uh-huh.
fully intend on being an Afrotech as well, like we need to add that, find your partner
Yes.
in the inclusion because
Yes.
let's be
Yes.
real. What for a good or for a bad, that is still how we consider, a full, robust community where we actually are
Yes.
partner. So I don't shy away
Yes.
from that. I think that it
Yes.
is a good thing to highlight. And
Yes.
how else?
And that's why we wanted to do those VIP
Mhm.
events so you can connect on a more intimate level with those other people outside of the learning part. You get what I'm saying? Like we have these events where we could just network, eat, drink, and get to know each
Right.
other.
And you're already there, based upon some shared interests in business and entrepreneurship. So that makes all
Okay.
the sense in the world to me.
Okay.
Yes. No,
That's what
I
I'm
I am
saying.
excited. I'm looking forward to. I need to get my ticket,
Yes.
but
And you hold on, you gotta let me know. You got that discount code too. We have a 30% off friends and family, so I'll be sure to slide that. Slide that.
yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. Raven, I want to make sure that I got everything that I wanted to talk to you about. Well, no, so this is what I want to talk about, and we'll probably land the plane there afterwards.
Okay.
You have been in the game for a while. You're obviously very well networked, beyond Baltimore, but I do want to talk about Baltimore specifically. How do you
Okay.
see, I guess, moving forward, what is our economic and social climate in terms of making this a stronger, I hate the term workforce. I really do. It bothers me. But what I intend to say is, how do we get this to be like the city, like in Atlanta, but or like a DC, but still very much Baltimore, that has our strong culture that we have, but also is
Hmm.
showing that we have a good sense of solidarity, and we also do mean business, and we also, um, are just as a force to reckon with as any other place. I mean, I think the CIAA tournament coming here is kind of getting
Yeah.
a putting a lens on us being considered a tech hub, a new tech designation, that's also putting the
Yeah.
lens on us. So how do we
Yeah.
move things ahead? And what would you say to, I guess, the people who don't know much about those things that are going on? How do we attract those people? Because I think we cannot leave them behind. We can't leave the everyday person behind. We must bring them along with us. So what do you think the answer to it is? Is it media? Is it education? Is it edutainment? How do we do it?
I feel like it's a mixture of all of it, but beyond that, we need to have support from our governors and from the mayor and from the actual systems that are in place, right? Because I was just having this conversation, me and Zeke, um, what Atlanta has and what those other cities have that are thriving, they have like nightlife mayors.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And they have mayors that's focused solely on those type of events that also push back into the economy, through taxes and through jobs and through et cetera. You know what I'm saying? So that's more so I feel like what we need to be able to do here. Continue to, for one, have like events such as the Wealth Summit Live or have the Afrotech come here, make those partnerships with CIAA, et cetera. But on top of that, we need to make sure that we're having the support from the city and from the state to really back up what we're doing, because what we're doing is not, it's not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
What we're doing is a lot of money. So we have to reach out to for a lot of partnerships, for sponsors or for this, for that, to really curate an experience that's going to be impactful, that's going to be tangible, that's going to really make a difference. So I feel like we could do as much as we can, but we really won't become that New York or Atlanta until we really get the full support from our our systems that are already in place, such as those politicians, because they got the funding, they have the resources. So we are blessed to, like, for this event, the city of Baltimore have partnered with us to be able to give us the certain necessary resources that we need. They may not have funding, but they have access to resources,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they've been able to help us with tables and chairs and tents and generators and stages and, all of those things to really help that would have added up to be even more expensive. But now we're even now aiming to get like the Maryland governor involved. You get what I'm saying? Like, how can we really turn this into an event that's like the AFRAM, that's like um, Artscape, all those events that we know happen every year, and it's backed up by all of those corporations. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like that is what is going to take everyone to work together collectively, and then us just thinking of other experiences outside of just a party. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's do things that's going to really help change the future of our kids. Let's do something that's really going to help put some money back into our pockets. We're just not going to spend on these bottles and on this and then go back home and figure out how the hell we're going to pay our bills the next day. So that's what I think.
I do not disagree. Thank you so much, Raven. Is there anything else that you want to share? I know you got some other things loaded in the back pocket, but I'll leave
Oh, yeah.
that.
Let's speak on CEOs Evolve Studios. So, we are also in the process. We have invested into some real estate. CEOs Evolve is my marketing agency. So, we have now in the process of opening up CEOs Evolve Studio. So, within that studio space, it'll be a content creation co working space, currently being fully renovated, gutted. A lot of money. All
Mhm.
right. But within this space, you'll be able to evolve as a CEO, whether you are a podcaster, whether you are an artist, so you need a recording studio, you need a podcast room, or you need a modern classroom to do a workshop, or you need a flex space to do office work, or you need an event space to be able to curate whatever type of event you want. It holds 100 people within that one area, or whether you need to come and create some content in our photo. It's like a selfie
Mm-hmm.
space, but not a selfie space, because we want it to really be for like branding purposes. But it'll have a few different sets that you can kind of utilize that space. So if you need an area where you can meet with your team, your business, or maybe you want to have an intimate dinner, we have the meet and greet room, and then we have like a fitting room. So it's like CEOs Evolve will be there for our CEOs to evolve, but also will be the home of our nonprofit CEO Empowerment Network. So within those spaces in each room, that's where we'll be able to do our free workshops for our underserved youth ages 11 to 21, to be able to bring them in there, expose them to other CEOs who they can possibly become. So that's also what's in the works.
I love it.
It's a lot.
And I cannot wait. We've talked about it before. I cannot wait. I'm definitely
Yes,
looking
it's a
forward to it.
lot. It's a lot, but it's coming. Patient. You just got to be patient. You just got to trust, and you just got to do what you can with the resources that you have, and just keep working to get more.
Yeah, and hey, we're in my bedroom studio. So,
Hello.
so yeah.
Okay, we gotta do what we gotta do.
Yes, we do. I have, and as far as much as technology has made it much more economical to get started, we still have these ideas of how, we got to wait until we do this thing, until we get this thing.
Yeah,
I finally decided,
yeah.
I said, no, I'm not waiting.
We're not waiting no
No.
more. If we wait for perfection, it will never
Mm-hmm.
happen.
Yeah.
You just gotta do
Yeah.
it. Whether you gotta get a backdrop
Mm-hmm.
to put behind you, you want to do some branding, or whether you want to blur out your screen, or do a digital background, or whatever. It's so many ways that we can now make it, add a little tree or
Yeah.
whatever. You can do what it is that you need
You
to
sure
do.
can. Well, Raven, thank you so much. This has been a pleasure. I look forward to talking to you and seeing you soon. Yes.
Yes. I look forward to seeing you soon too. And thank you again for featuring me in your segment. And I am praying that you will continue to do what it is that your heart desire. Wishing is like, I don't believe in wishes too well, but like I'm definitely praying that you continue to keep your faith and keep the patience,
Patience.
just keep praying for them patients,
Yes.
because our patience run thin, and just keep your foot on the gas.
Thank you. I I'm a I think we have already ended the segment, but I just want to tell you just this before like we actually go. Yes,
Yeah.
like seeing people how long they have had in the journey to do the things actually has helped me so much because it's like, why am I rushing?
Right. It takes
It
time.
takes time, and I put so much pressure on myself. And even I've started this journey. I guess it would be 2 years now. And while I feel like I have accomplished myself, it's
So you only 2 years in?
I'm only 2 years in.
Yes. So you gotta give yourself grace.
I am learning that I have now learned after experiencing burnout, I have to give myself grace,
Yes.
and it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And just as long as I continue to do the work and also be
Yeah.
present in the work, like I want to, enjoy and recognize some things have come to me like so easy. And
Mhm.
it's like I have taken that for granted. And it's like, no, I gotta appreciate it. I gotta honor it. I gotta respect that. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
here.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. All right.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you
All
again.
right.
You're
Let's
welcome.
all soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.